Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well whenever you are watching this video. Today I'm going to talk about education of tribals, barriers and policy responses. This topic highlights the problems tribal communities face in getting education and how different policies are helping to solve them. Okay, India has about 104 million tribal people, which is around 8.6% of our population. However, their literacy and access to higher education are much lower compared to others. This is because of social, economic, and cultural barriers. In my presentation, I will explain both the barriers and the government efforts to improve their education. So, barriers to tribal education. There are several major barriers. First one is geographical isolation. Many tribal areas are in remote places with poor roads and communication. Next one is poverty. Families often depend on their children to work. Next one is language barriers. The school language is often not their mother tongue. Cultural alienation, school lessons rarely reflect tribal life or traditions. And the next one is poor infrastructure, lack of proper schools, teachers, and toilets. Next, dropouts and early marriage, especially among girls. And the last one, social discrimination. Tribal children often feel excluded. Now we will discuss the policy responses. To solve these problems, the government has introduced many policies. The constitutional and legal support. The constitution itself supports tribal education. Article 46 directs the state to promote the educational interests of scheduled tribes. Reservation policies ensure seats for STs in schools and colleges. The Right to Education Act 2009 gives free and compulsory education for all children aged 6 to 14. These steps have improved access and representation. Next one is special schools. There are also special residential schools for tribal students. Ashram schools provide education, food, and shelter in remote tribal areas, but they still face issues like teacher shortage. Next, Eklavya model residential schools, that is EMRS, offer modern education from class 6 to 12 with facilities like labs and hostels. Under the NEP 2020, the goal is to have one EMRS in every tribal dominated block. Next one is schemes for girls. To support tribal girls, the government started Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas, that is KGBV. These are residential schools for girls from SC, ST, OBC, and minority communities. They help reduce the gender gap and encourage girls to continue higher studies. Next one is financial support or aid, financial aid. Financial help is also important. There are scholarships like pre-metric, post-metric, National Overseas Scholarship, and top class education scheme for ST students. Besides that, students get free textbooks, uniforms, hostels, and midday meals. They reduce the financial burden on families and prevent dropouts. Next one is NEP 2020. The National Education Policy 2020 also focuses on tribal inclusion. It promotes multilingual education, especially in early grades, and encourages a culturally responsive curriculum so children can learn in their own context. Encourages a culturally responsive curriculum so children can learn in their own context. Next one is tribal subplan. The tribal subplan started in 1974 to 75. It ensures a part of government funds is used only for tribal welfare. This includes building schools, training teachers, running awareness campaigns in tribal areas. So that's about tribal sub plan. Next one is curriculum reforms. To make education more relevant, new reforms promote teaching in the mother tongue and including tribal art, folklore, and history in textbooks. This helps students connect better with what they learn and reduces dropouts. Next one is NGOs and digital marketing. Many NGOs like Pratham and Eagle Vidyalaya also help. They run bridge courses for dropouts and use digital tools like tablets and e-learning apps. These efforts help tribal children learn even in remote areas. Next one is vocational training. Vocational and skill based training programs like Jan Shikshan Chandans and National Skill Development Mission train tribal youth in areas like agriculture, handicrafts, and digital skills. This helps them become self reliant and reduces migration. Now we'll discuss the educational implications to improve tribal education. We need more localized and culturally relevant curricula, more trained teachers who understand tribal culture, more residential and digital schools, and strong government NGO community partnerships. So, what are the educational implications that we can imply? More localized and culturally relevant curricula, more trained teachers who understand tribal culture, more residential and digital schools, and strong government NGO community partnerships. Okay, now we'll discuss the role of teachers. As future teachers, we can make a big difference by using multilingual teaching, including tribal stories and values in our lessons, motivating children to stay in school, and building trust with tribal families. Okay, to conclude, tribal education in India still faces many challenges, but with strong policies, dedicated teachers, and community support, we can make education more inclusive and meaningful for all. Now, we'll discuss the MCQ questions. First one, which of the following is not a major barrier to tribal education in India? Options: geographical isolation, cultural alienation, high industrialization, language barriers. The answer is high industrialization. What does Article 46 of the Indian Constitution emphasize? Free education for all, promotion of the educational interests of scheduled tribes and weaker sections, establishment of residential schools, compulsory primary education for children aged 6 to 10. The answer is promotion of the educational interests of scheduled tribes and weaker sections. The third question, which ministry launched the Eklavya Model Residential Schools EMRS? Ministry of Education, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Social Justice, and the Ministry of Rural Development. Answer is Ministry of Tribal Affairs. The Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya KGBV mainly focuses on urban girl education, girls from SC, ST, OBC and minority groups, boys technical training, teacher recruitment. The answer is girls from SC, ST, OBC and minority groups. Which of the following schemes provide scholarships for tribal students studying abroad? National Overseas Scholarship, Post Metric Scholarship, Top Class Education Scheme, Jan Shikshan Sansthan. Answer: National Overseas Scholarship. The Tribal Sub-Plan TSP was introduced in which year? 1950 to 51, 1974 to 75, 1985 to 86, 2001 to 2002. Answer 1974 to 75. Which of the following is a focus of NEP 2020 for tribal education? Single language instruction, culturally responsive and multilingual education, reduced teacher training, centralized curriculum only. Answer is culturally responsive and multilingual education. Now the eighth question, statement 1, ashram schools provide free education and residential facilities to tribal children. Statement 2, they are run by private trusts under the Ministry of Education. Options, both statements are true, both statements are false. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Statement 1 is false but statement 2 is true. Answer is statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Statement 1, curriculum reforms include teaching in mother tongue and inclusion of tribal culture. Statement 2, this approach helps improve student engagement and reduces dropouts. Both statements are true, both statements are false. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Statement 1 is false but statement 2 is true. Answer, both statements are true. Now the last question, assertion. Many tribal children drop out of school at an early age. Reason, they face economic constraints and lack of culturally relevant curriculum. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true but R is false. A is false but R is true. The answer is both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. So, we discussed the tribal education, the strong policies and many challenges, but with strong policies, dedicated teachers and communities support, we can make education more inclusive and meaningful for all. Thank you for listening. Thank you.